Hello, everyone. Welcome to the pre-show of the Codex podcast. As usual, I'm your host, Sonny Kruger. I'm joined by my usual co-hosts, Tim the Terrible and Uncle Gary.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, thanks for joining us.
Yes, thank you for joining us. We got quite a bit of stuff going on. Quite a bit of comic book news. A lot of stuff was happening literally today. So today we were adding things to our schedule.
It was firing about every 20 minutes.
Yeah, I was like, oh, there's not too much news today, or this week, and then today was
Well,
more and more.
this will all be news to me because I haven't heard any of it.
Nice. Well, yeah, some pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah,
some twisted stuff, some surprises, and one epic return. But we'll talk about that on the show. And then we'll get back to Vera Insanity, Right or Wrong, Random Panel of the Week.
Yeah.
Someone will be joining the F list. Saved another Savage Dragon character for Uncle Gary. And we will be reviewing a certain book that both of you guys got.
Oh, yes. Mine is not as written on as Gary's is, but
yeah, I had people say write their names on it. They must have owned it at one time. Some guy named Frank Thierry, another named Tom Palmer, another named Sean Chen. It's kind of interesting. They also have their names in the credits for the book. So what are the odds of that?
It's something
crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, Sal.
Hey, Sal. Good to see you.
So Sal's Halloween, so Sal's doing double duty.
Yeah.
He's at home and he's working the morgue.
And
he's got his place at home, the Slabatorium.
Yeah. And in the story today, there's somebody named Sal.
Okay, yeah. The Slabatorium.
Yeah.
Knocking them out, dragging them down.
You know, guys, I don't have a copy of the story Law of the Jungle, but when I looked it up, next year they're coming out with those epic collections that I like. Wolverine Epic Collection, Law of the Jungle.
Is that going to be in there?
Yep.
Gary.
In there, yeah.
Good, because this hadn't been reprinted except for this book and the issues at the if you know how the Epic collections will get like 20 issues in a row, right?
Yeah.
If the Brotherhood comes after it, dude, those stories are great too. And that's we did the Wolverine episode and the Nightcrawler, where that one episode where after Wolverine's had to kill a bunch of people, Nightcrawler meets him in a bar and he needs to talk to his priest for absolution for killing all those people, and it is quite the conversation. It is amazing.
That's the end of this series too, right? I believe.
Yeah, I believe that's the end of this Wolverine series. Yeah,
volume 2.
Hello, Chris.
Mr. Schwartlander, out there fighting the good fight for democracy.
Chris in the house. Eating the jalapenos, drinking the beer.
Yeah. Hey, Chris, he was telling me that you took jalapenos off his plate. And at first I thought he said, yeah, he took them off his plate and put them in his beard. And I'm like, and I was like, yeah, that sounds like Chris. And then I found out later it was in his beer. But it just goes to show you that when I thought he said you put them in your beard, I didn't think twice of it. I thought, yeah, sure he would. Use them for later. He'd save them for later.
Hello, Keith.
Hey, Bougie, good to see you, Keith. Bougie. I'm picking out ghost covers for you for Saturday night, buddy. I promised you the showcase would be Ghost. It's going to be Ghost from DC series. There's 112 issues for me to pull from, and I'll get a good selection for you, my friend.
Hey, Sonny, real quick, if you don't mind, let me go ahead and give a shout out to all of our members of the Codex Station right now. All right, so real quick, ladies and gentlemen, this is for all you members out there. We have nothing but appreciation and love for you guys going that extra mile to be a member of the Codex Station. Guys, for those of you that aren't, it's 99 cents right now. Take advantage of that while you can. If you don't want to, that's totally fine too. We love having you here regardless. But shout out to some members right now. We got Sapphire Glade Comics. We all know who that is. We got Talking Geek, Danny, Gary, you know who that is. Comics Limited, Mr. Keith, me, Wes, and Sal. So there you go. Thank you guys very much for members of the Codex Station.
I'd like to chime in. You talked about, we have love and respect for our members.
Yes.
I have a lot of love and respect for my member. Just like to mention that.
I'd hope so.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a family show.
There are 2-year-olds watching.
Well, in the Baltimore video, if you haven't seen it yet, we talk about man things quite a bit in there. So
Giant-sized man things,
and little man things.
little man things. I don't have as much
Spectacular
experience.
coverage.
Why do I wear the wrist brace, ladies and gentlemen? The world will never know.
We all know, Tim. We all know.
I am left-handed, so
What was the episode of Big Bang Theory when Wolowitz made a mechanical arm and pleasure himself, and it got stuck that way?
oh my God.
That's what she said. Yeah, there's Chris with jalapenos in his beard.
You better believe it.
Appreciate it. Hey, absolutely, Boosh. Coming your way, man. It's just a hard choice, man. There's some great covers in that series.
It is not a Codex show unless Bougie is in the chat. Let me just put that out there right now.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm glad to have you in the chat. Glad to have you all in the chat.
Yeah.
You know, it's nice to see everybody getting involved. Even look, we're on the pre-show, you know. I remember the days when it was just me and Jamie. We would be like, we had one comment. Somebody commented.
Well, Keith.
Sounds like football.
Keith, I know you say that you always said you'd never join a club that would accept you as a member. Well, we don't accept you. We just accept your member. So.
Oh, well. Wow.
I couldn't help it. It was right there.
Mr. Keith, I'm accepting you as a member, but I don't think I'm accepting your member.
Oh,
Tim is speaking for Tim.
Oh, my God. Greg, what's going on, man? Welcome to the party.
Just talking about members.
Yes.
And members is members. Yeah.
That's right. That's
members only. I may still have a members only jacket. I'm so freaking old.
God.
Oh, brother. Let me tell you, we are putting together the Halloween episode on the 26th.
Yeah.
26th of October, Saturday night special, baby.
Heyo.
We're picking our Halloween covers, the Codex stuff, people. So you will see some fantastic covers. I've already sent mine in. I know Dan has his picked out. Sal has his picked out. I think Tim and Sonny are on the verge.
Yep, I'm working on it.
Yeah, one, I'm on 0, but I'm getting there.
Yeah, well, Sonny's got to be careful because he can only look at those covers when it's daylight, the sun is shining, all the lights are on in the house. He can't look at those covers after dark.
That's
he
right.
Gets stirred. You were the last member. The only member.
Sonny, you got your hands full today.
Oh man. You know,
I am rotten today, ladies and gentlemen.
You know, last time I had my hernia surgery, the doctor told me, he goes, right, you got to be careful. You can't lift anything over 10 pounds. I said, Doc, how the hell am I supposed to take a piss?
My Lord. Oh, God. I apologize in advance, Sonny. I really don't. But
we're in the pre-show, all right?
we're pre-show with jocularity. Is that what we're doing?
That's exactly right.
All right, we're good to go. I had to swallow. Spitters or quitters?
Oh, spitters or quitters. Wow.
So which are you, Tim?
Never mind.
Wow.
We don't need to talk about that right now. So
that's between Tim and Mr. Keith.
Chris says we better be involving creepy and eerie covers.
We're not doing magazine covers. We didn't do magazine. Comic. This is comic. Sorry, brother.
Yeah.
So I bet creepy and eerie are pretty amazing. But you'll see some artists who have done work for creepy and eerie. How about that?
There you go. All right, Sonny, I think we've hijacked it long enough.
All right, I think we're ready. If you guys are ready to go on to the regular show, I'm ready.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, stick around. We will be back in 45 seconds with another beautiful episode of the Codex Podcast. Since we're in spooky season, it is UFO time. Do you agree?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, here we go. We'll be back in 45 seconds.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Code X podcast. As usual, I'm your host, Sonny Kruger, and I'm joined by my usual co-hosts, Tim the Terrible and Uncle Gary, who are being very terrible and bad on the pre-show today.
Are we so bad that you're going to spank us, Sonny?
They might get that belt.
I'll
get that belt.
I'll sit in the chair in the corner and watch until it's my turn.
Yes. Pull your pants down right now and don't give me any trouble when I spank you. Okay.
Welcome to spooky season.
Yes.
And that's as spooky as it gets, thinking about Sonny spanking two grown men.
Well, if you want to think about more spooky things, there's a certain comment that a certain slab guy said.
Oh my God, let me find it real quick. Let's see here.
This is our covers.
Yeah, some of my covers will include underboob.
But listen,
right on.
There's nothing spooky about underboob. We talk about.
It depends who it's from, though. You know, if it was like the Blob giving underboob.
Okay. Now, see, I can't unsee that in my head. Thank you for that. God damn.
I had to get you back.
Wow, the Blob's underboob.
I love it.
That is awful.
Spooky season.
When you gave the UFO music before we started, which was great, last week on the late night show, I think it was just me and Sal. Sal put on some damn lullaby music. He's lucky that I wasn't down to sleep. I mean, it's already 11 o'clock at night when we're doing that, right? And he puts on a lullaby. He's lucky I was there when a minute later.
Oh my God!
Sal, don't you ever do that on the Saturday night show? That's
wonderful. Sal putting us to sleep.
Yeah.
So we can take our slabs.
Yes. He's the slab fairy in reverse.
There you go.
Your slabs.
Guys, I see we got another comment. We asked a question by One Bridge 11.
There we go.
Are you a fan of Ethan Van Cipher?
Seaver. So I'll take that first. Let's separate the person from the work. As far as his work goes, yes, I am a fan of his work. As far as him as a person, no, I am not.
I really love his work. Yeah, I thought his art was fantastic. His worldviews, not so much. But
graph from him. So,
oh yeah, I don't have.
How was he to you meeting him?
Do what?
How was he when you met him?
Oh, I never met him. But
yeah,
his political preference. Something's going on outside. His political preference, his stance on a particular comic gates and things like that. Not a big fan of, but his work is good.
You know, I'd have to learn more about his beliefs, and I'd have to see some of his work to really give an honest opinion. So.
Anything in the early 2000s DC, a lot of Green Lantern and Batman covers.
Amazing. Interiors, too.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, so I might have seen some of this after,
the Green Lantern Rebirth, he was the one, which was so good.
Yeah, a lot of during the 52 storyline. He did work during that time period.
Okay. But everyone, so today we will be reviewing Wolverine, the Law of the Jungle. We'll be having someone join the F list, having a random panel of the week. We're having Right or Wrong again. There you go. Tim is showing off his Wolverine comic book. And
let me tell you something, that's Wolverine and the Mob.
Yes.
I do not want to read that. Right. Wolverine and the Mob.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wolverine taking on the Mob.
With you too, brother.
For tonight's main event. And so we'll have some Virulent Insanity. Sal the Slab Guy gave me the info on it. And then, of course, we've got quite a bit of news. It seemed to be a slower week for news. And then today, quite a bit of news dropped. So we'll get that started off with the rundown. We'll start off with some bombs.
Ooh.
And unfortunately, Joker 2 has bombed at the box office and hasn't been doing good. And the main reason that people are very angry with the movie is because that it's a musical. But what's going on is that there was set to be a Robin movie. And now this Robin movie is set to have two Robins. And it's set to have a bit of a twist. And it is set to be called Dynamic Duo. And it's set to be a mixture of a bit of animation, a little bit of live action, and some puppetry. And the puppetry is due to with the company of Swaybox. So that will be a different kind of movie coming out. That is called the Dynamic Duo.
What two Robins are going to portray?
Tim Drake and Dick Grayson, right?
I believe, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then also, one of some of the biggest news: a legend is returning to his legendary comic. It's going to be world peace, everybody. Everything's going to be solved.
Oh,
Rob Liefeld is returning to Youngblood.
Yeah.
All your problems are solved.
I can hear the pins drop now.
Oh.
That's what I said.
Should I go camp out at the comic store now waiting for that first issue, or should I just bide my time and think that maybe I'll be able to get a copy somewhere somehow?
I think camp out, because I think all the variants are going to be taken out too. Yeah.
In the secondary market, Gary, that's the only way we'll ever get a copy of that.
Well.
Oh yeah, and there's some other news too, and that is Aaron Pierre has been cast as John Stewart, Green Lantern.
Oh yeah, this guy right here.
Here we go.
Yeah, that's from comicbook.com, ladies and gentlemen. So that is your John Stewart.
All right, without the goatee I think he's a pretty good look for John Stewart.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I haven't seen too much of what he's been in, so I looked it up. He is set to be Mufasa in the Mufasa the Lion King movie, set to come out in a couple months.
Mhm.
He was in Brother, he was in Old, he was in Rebel Ridge, and he was in The Little Mermaid, the newest one.
Oh, who was he in The Little Mermaid?
Little Mermaid.
Yeah,
who's Ariel?
I should not have asked.
But when I look on Google, didn't have who he was. I don't know how big his part was, but it said he was in there.
Wow. Okay.
All right, guys, where do you want to start? Should we start off? I know, Tim, you're ready to jump on the Joker.
Yeah, so I haven't seen the Joker yet, but the reason it bombed, being a musical is part of it. A lot of comic book fans are not musical fans. There's no other way to say that. But beyond that, the director, I can't remember his name offhand. Yeah, Todd Phillips refused to take any constructive criticism from DC Studios at all. He's when asked in an interview, and that somebody asked him if they took any direction from James Gunn or Peter Safran or DC Studios, he said, with all due respect, this isn't a DC movie, this is a Warner Brothers movie. And he went directly to the producers and money holders at Warner Brothers and didn't even listen to them. So the movie was destined to fail. It's Joker in name only, Harley Quinn in name only. I've heard a lot of complaints already about how it totally sways away from Harley Quinn's origins and all of that stuff. I'm gonna go see it. I like the first one. The first one was really good.
Is it the same director or different director?
Same director, yeah. But I know that at the end of the first one, Todd Phillips had wanted to have Joaquin Phoenix take glass and cut his face open. When Christopher Nolan was a producer at Warner Brothers, he said no. He nixed that because Heath Ledger's Joker was the only one that was going to be able to do that. And now, spoiler alert, I guess it's in the second Joker movie. Yeah. Dan, the first Joker wasn't very good. Not surprised. The second one sucks.
I know Dan was not a fan of the first one.
Lithograph says, I guess he got what he deserved.
It
was won by Bougie when we were talking about Liefeld. I think it was pretty interesting.
Oh, who draws better than Liefeld? Everybody, of course.
So back to the Joker movie. So Mighty Mike Harbor, who you've seen on this channel before, my best friend in life, he hates the first movie, and he's never seen it. We'll never see it. And the joke is because it's not anything to do with the DC universe. And I agree with him on this. So I sarcastically said, well, had the movie been titled Clown and not Joker, would you have gone to see it? And he was like, yeah, I might have gone to see Clown because that's what it is. And basically, it could have been titled Clown because it really had nothing to do with the Joker that we know. Mm-hmm. You know, there was one instance where he's at the gates of Wayne Manor, right? When they're seen at the gate, and you know, and calling, I guess, Gotham. But you had that movie could have stood on its own without any kind of reference to the DCU, and it really didn't have any. So it was. But now that being said, Joaquin Phoenix was amazing.
He got an Oscar for it.
Definitely deserved an Oscar. And the Joker may be the only character that has won 2 different actors 2 Oscars.
Yeah.
Ledger for supporting actor, Joaquin Phoenix for best actor.
Yeah.
And his performance was masterful. But I agree with Mike. It really wasn't a Joker movie. It was clown.
I agree with that 100%. If it was named something different, it could have stood on its own. I've said that to people before. This is a Joker movie in name only. If you're expecting it to be anything close to comic accurate, prepare to be disappointed.
I'm with Chris. What Chris said in the comments right there. He says, "I'll wait until I can see it for free." Same here.
There you go.
And Chris, even then, you might have paid too much.
Yeah. Dan says the first one was just a Scorsese knockoff, and it was Joker in name only. 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. All the way down to De Niro in it.
Yeah. Keith says, I get why Joker 2 was greenlit under Todd Phillips conditions. The actors got paid to mess around, and Warner Brothers just wanted $1 billion without reading emails. Well, they didn't read anything, and now it's a friggin' flop.
They're
also, this was not going to be something they could have just written off for taxes. No, not at all.
Well, good for Nolan for saying no. You're not going to do that to that character in the first one, because of what Ledger did was iconic.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so good for that.
Oh yeah.
So, and you know what? That could have actually hurt
the legacy
Oscar bid. It could have hurt Phoenix's Oscar bid too, because they could have said he's piggybacking what Ledger did. So it stands on its own as a brilliant performance by Phoenix. And there are people that I know, that I respect, that have thought that this does not depict people with mental illnesses very well either.
No, it doesn't.
That they think that is kind of exploitive.
Yeah.
Of folks like that.
Like when I watched the movie the first time, I watched it once, and that was enough for me. I've
only seen it once also.
I deal with mental illness with my mother, and it's not fun sometimes. And watching that movie the one time was incredibly heavy for me. There's that word again, heavy.
Yeah.
But it was so much that I only watched it once, and I didn't watch it again for the second time until a couple of months ago. Yeah.
How many times do you think you'll watch the sequel?
One time. And that'll be
there you go. It's once.
Yeah.
Yeah. But even they were saying, I saw that on Rotten Tomatoes, the percentages for Joker 2, Folly Do, what it's called, Joker 2,
Folie à
Deux gets 33%, and then the audience rating of 31%.
So Folie à Deux.
Yeah, and I know that they said it cost $200 million to make, but they also, when they mention that, they don't talk about how much money they put towards marketing. Probably
at minimum $180 million.
Yeah, like $80 million, and then it only made like $40 million domestically the opening weekend, like $70 million worldwide. So.
Well, they've got home video to focus on. Yeah, so that's it.
They lost out on some money there.
Yeah. But moving on, Liefeld returning to Youngblood. Awesome, cool. Next topic.
Robin. How about the Robin movie? That seems very different, like that. Like I said, how they mentioned a little bit of live action, but with animation and with the puppetry. First, I was like, I wonder how that'll be. And I did look into Swaybox, if that's the company that does the puppetry. And now I'm not too much of a fan of puppetry, not against it, just I haven't seen much of it. But what I saw from them is they had a short film, and it was pretty impressive of what I saw. So
nice.
I'm a fan of like going for something different. Sometimes when you go for something big, it could, be a failure, but it could be something that's different and amazing. How are you going to be the best if you're just like everyone else? So I'm rooting for Dynamic Duo to be a good movie.
I am curious to see who they're going to cast as Tim Drake and as Dick Grayson. Yeah, that's what I'm curious about. Chris here says, when will they learn that putting people in charge of comic movies that totally ignore the source material are just opening the IP up for disasters? They'll never learn, because they always want to do their own thing. They want to do something different. They want to be creative. Well, there's 80 years worth of comic history on this character, so take your pick.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and Dan here says, and they said when they did the first one, there wouldn't be a sequel. Then Warner Brothers threw a bunch of money at him. That is also true. Money will make you do strange things.
Very strange things.
Yeah. Yeah.
But guys, yeah, so back to the Rob Liefeld. Oh man, guys. How many variants should we get?
One.
You already know.
Maybe they could really spruce it up by having Liefeld do all the art and having Tim's favorite writer,
Zeb Wells.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be a disaster made in hell.
Well, if it got him off of Spider-Man, I think you'd applaud that.
Oh my God. I can't wait.
Spider-Man joins Youngblood.
No.
And then Mary Jane marries
Shaft.
Shaft.
At
Richard
Chapel
Roundtree?
House.
Mary Jane marries Richard Roundtree? We get theme music every time they're together.
Here's a roll of quarters, Mary Jane. Call a taxi. I'm telling Peter.
And Dan said that the Robin movie is set to be Dick Grayson and Jason Todd.
Oh, very nice.
Okay. It's Jason Todd, not
nice.
Not Tim Drake. Okay.
Yeah, that'll make it even better.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
So we shall see when it gets to that. Okay, that covers pretty much the comic news. Like I said, we were talking about Aaron Pierre, that like I said, we pretty much believe without the beard, obviously, he has the look. And like I said, I haven't seen too many of the movies that he's been in. So hopefully he does a good job. I hope that, I'd like to see
I think he will.
Very comic accurate John Stewart. Yeah.
Interesting side about John Stewart. I just had one of my coworkers that's a bus driver. I was telling him about, I'll do the channel Codex Station, and he took the Q card and he scanned the
QR
code on it.
Yeah.
And he came back to me yesterday. He goes, "Oh man, I started watching some of the stuff you do. I saw the thing on John Stewart," and he's an African American fellow himself. His name's Brian, and he said, "I didn't know that about John Stewart and how you told the story about how they were going to give him the slave name of Lincoln Washington." And Neil and that artist said, "Hell no, he's not going to have a slave name." So he was all fired up about that. So that was pretty cool. And for that, for those I'm counting, when Neil Adams and Denny O'Neil wanted DC to create an African American superhero, and they were going to make a Green Lantern, and DC editorial was like, "Yeah, that's great. It's a good time for that. Let's do that." And this was 1969, and let's name him Lincoln Washington. And Neil Adams said, "Oh, well, hell no." And Neil told me this personally. He goes, "Oh, hell no. I'm not giving him no damn slave name. His name's going to be John Stewart, and he's going to be college educated and a professional."
He's an architect.
An architect. Later on, they threw the Army in there, which is still good too. But which is a nice layer to him too. But but he said Lincoln Washington, my ass. So I
thought
that
he
was
such a better character, giving him more of a background and making him
and the name John Stewart, right? John Stewart.
My first exposure.
And he's got the show every night. Yeah.
My first exposure to Green Lantern when I was a kid was Mosaic with John Stewart. So he holds a special place in my heart.
Very.
John Stewart comic with John Stewart and what's his name? Is it Chip? What's the squirrel Green Lantern?
Chip. Yeah, Chip.
Yeah, Chip. Yes, it was a comic with both of them. That's my first introduction to John Stewart.
So the comedian John Stewart and the comic John Stewart, it'd be interesting to see which one of them is older, because John Stewart, the comic John Stewart was 1969, I'm pretty sure.
First introduction.
Yeah, Green Lantern, Green Arrow, 87.
Well, let's see how old John Stewart is.
Yeah, so
he is 61 years old. He was born in 1962.
Okay, so he predates. The comic predates John Stewart, the character.
Yeah. So by 7 years.
Okay, he's got me by 2 years. He was born in 62. He's a baby boomer too.
There you go.
So you got some boomer. Interesting comments too. First, Chris talks about Liefeld.
Let's see here. Yeah. So Chris says Liefeld back on Youngblood. That's quite a feat.
Perfectly put.
Rob Liefeld's putting his best foot forward.
That's right.
And when he toes
not a good foot.
He's going to toe the line and draw the character the right way this time.
All he's got to do is keep 2 feet on the ground, and everything should be fine.
That's right. But you know what? Why do we make fun of him? Because he's a heel.
That's exactly correct.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah.
Dan Kelly says the only thing interesting about it is that Liefeld is going back to Image for it, and it's supposed to have a bunch of old Image characters. Yeah. So that'll be cool. Bougie says cool. They're bringing the Red Hood back or into the DCU. 100%. I am all the way behind James Gunn, doing what he's doing. I think it's in good hands. Yeah,
Right.
I hope so.
Yeah.
And then also, if you guys want to hear more of Rob Liefeld, he's actually coming out with a memoir soon called Robservations.
My Lord.
Is
I'm
it really
excited to
called
be-
Robservations?
Yep.
That just right there is a reason not to even look at the damn thing.
I'm gonna Robservate to that in the bathroom when I buy it.
Yeah.
I think I'm just gonna look up a review, like when it comes out, see what if there's anybody on like Reddit or something who's like, here's all the claims he makes in the book.
Have you Robservated today? If not, go. You're entitled to compensation.
All right.
I'm gonna have to Robservomit.
Oh my God.
I think that wraps up our news segment for today. I think we can move on to some insanity.
Well,
right
yes.
after.
Dan says Youngblood will ship 2 issues and then be 8 months late on issue 3.
Pretty
100%.
much, yeah.
Variant Insanity now. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Variant Insanity. Take a thought for a moment on what you think it is, and then let us know in the comments below. I'm going to play the intro cue. You're going to hear 3 beeps, maybe a little bit catchy to the ear, but there it is. Here we go.
There you go. Good job, Sal, on that intro. We always love that. So here we go. What do you guys think is the comic book that had the most variants this week?
I already know because I had to look.
All right. I should have paid better attention when I picked up my books, but I know. Was there a Turtles book this week?
Rich says Turtles.
I know there was a Transformers book, so I'm going to go with that. I'm going to say it was Transformers.
Rob says, or Chris says, Robservating once or twice a day will prevent prostate cancer.
Well then, Chris, you're cancer free.
Anybody else want to take a guess before we go ahead and show this? We'll give you 10 seconds. Dead silence. Never have silence.
109876543221.
There we go.
The comic book this week with the most variants.
I was afraid I wouldn't be able to count correctly, and that would really look bad.
Oh, good. The comic book this week with the most variants is The Terminator.
Oh,
number 1.
Should have said that. Yeah,
Of
that's
course.
right. I saw that.
I am
Now-
getting a variant of this.
Nice. Now, last week when I was going for a walk with my Maria, I said, "Take a guess how many you think the most comic had last week," and she guessed it right and said 20. Last week was right with 20, and that was with Barbarella.
Oh,
So, anyone like to take a guess with how many variants the Terminator has this week?
Mike just checked in and said absolute Batman. That's a good guess too.
Yeah.
Right? Evidently it's Terminator. Mike, sorry you missed our session where we destroyed Clown and Clown 2. So, but you would have liked it. So watch it. Tim destroyed that movie for you. So you can thank him. The Terminator. Let's see what
How many?
I'm going to throw my number out there and say 62.
Wow.
That's what I'm going to say.
What year was it that the Terminators went online?
Oh,
In the movie.
2000. Shoot. I don't know.
Okay.
Bougie said 17. Dan said 32.
I'm going to say 24.
Okay. Sonny, what do you got?
Are you guys ready?
Yes.
The Terminator from Dynamite Entertainment,
Thank
number
you,
1, has 42 issues.
Oh, it was close.
42
I got
variants.
dyslexic. The 24 was
42 issues, 1A to 1AR.
Richard, is that the year that Skynet went online? 2017?
Maybe it's 2042. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it was.
There we go. 42 variant covers for the Terminator.
42.
Or it must have been 20. Yeah, 17. Because Terminator came out in the 90s. Yeah, so it would have been.
Comic book form, it did. The movie came out in 84.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I'm going to look that up. When did Skynet go online?
When you find out it's
Someone
tomorrow.
first saw with that AI.
When you find out it's tomorrow, I'm done.
Skynet became self-aware August 29th of 1997 at 2:14 a.m. Yeah, so we're in different timeline now anyway.
Wow, you got that pretty quick.
I'm a fast thumb typer.
It's almost as if your phone knew what you were going to ask. Like it hears what we're saying.
Dan was closest without going over. He moves to the next round.
Dan at 32.
Yep.
So 42. We'll see what has the most variants next week.
There you go.
Next week it'll be Sal. He will be here, so we'll let him take over and I'll be able to guess again. All right, guys. But now it's time to come back to right or wrong, where one of us makes 5 statements and the others quickly say right or wrong. And this week it's back to Tim with his 5 statements for right or wrong.
100%. Sonny, before we get to right or wrong, do you mind if we do the sponsor first?
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
Hit us
I'm
with
the
sponsor.
I'm the sponsor. Do me.
Ooh, do us, Gary. Please saturate our seats that we're sitting in.
All right. Sponsor. Comic Logic, baby. We are Loudoun County, Virginia's only comic book store. You come in and please see us. We would love to make your acquaintance. You can come in every Wednesday and you catch myself, Rob Kalin, Mighty Mike Harbor, who's in the chat. You can catch him. And we will be there getting our 4-color ink, getting our new books, getting pumped up because we're lifting stacks of comics, baby. Comic books make you strong. So come in, Comic Logic, get you some, do some push-ups too. That'll help. Also, big event this month for us, October 27th, is our Fall Lot Con. And on our Fall Lot Con, we are going to turn our parking lot into a mini Comic Con. We'll have 35 plus vendors in there. There'll be local artists, local authors. There'll be toys. There'll be comics. There'll be, heck, there's even going to be a tattoo artist there who can tattoo Comic Logic on your posterior if you so desire. So Rob Kalin may be in there getting his tattoo. He says every time they come, they'll get another tattoo. So please come there. It's on a Sunday from 12 to 4. It's also going to be trunk or treat. So we will have candy for the kids. The vendors will have candy to give the kids, have them come in the costumes. I believe there'll be a costume contest for the kids, I believe. But as adults, wear your costumes too. That's just fine. We would love to have you come by. We'd love to make your acquaintance. At the last one, we had Sal and Dan and brought their lovely daughters there. So please come see us, meet them. And all right, Dan's going to be there. See, Dan is a frequent contributor to our Fall Lot Con. It's always great to have him there and to have his lovely daughter there. So hopefully you can come make his acquaintance too. Come see us Sunday, October 27th, 12 to 4, Comic Logic, Ashburn, Virginia, Loudoun County, Virginia's only comic book store. You can meet the Codex folks. You can meet the Comic Logic folks. It'll be a good day's had by all, and it will be wonderful. Sal's Pedicure Services will be there. Wow.
All right.
But remember, listen, but be careful with that. Sal's Pedicure Service Warlord from LotCon. There you go. Sal's Pedicure Services. The reason that he does pedicures, he only does it on the big toe. And what he's doing is he's putting a tag around it that says DOA. That's what he learned in the morgue. That's the only toe he takes care of, is when he's putting that toe tag on one of the big toes.
Oh, my God.
But he does make that one toe really pretty, though.
Yeah.
Oh, he does. He does. He makes
paints
it
it up
very.
for you.
Yeah.
Now, if, let's say there was, comics, tattoos, foot massages is a great combination.
You know what? I don't know where you can go, where else you can go and get all that.
I do have a question. Let's say you have a really...
Is this a right or wrong question?
No. This is about the contest. How you said with the kids, they get to dress up for the contest. Let's say there's an adult who isn't that tall, and he's like a really good award-winning actor, and he dresses up. Could he be in the contest?
I don't know if Tom Cruise would come to something like that.
Hey, he's not that short. He's about as tall as me.
Oh,
No.
Well,
Sonny,
that was
if
just-
you get the chops, I think they might let you in there.
Actually, I'm not sure. There may be a costume contest for the adults too. So that may be there. I just didn't know that I could speak of it because I don't know if it's 100% accurate, but I know there will be one for the kids.
Sonny will be
Could-
the only
Could
one.
I mean, could Tom Cruise or somebody like that just be against the kids and beat them?
You know what? If that's what it takes for you to feel wanted and loved in life, then yes.
You know, some of those toys that you mentioned, they make
Oh
people
my
want it in
God.
You are not allowed near any toys.
No.
You have a restraining order from every toy salesman in the United States. They saw what you did to those toys when we
Sonny,
had our toy show.
I got some toys for you, buddy.
Look
No.
at this. Look, I have a Luka Doncic toy. Look at that. Basketball player,
Yeah,
Luka
how
Doncic.
long till his ACL? Well, yeah, see, there you go.
He just fell off the stand.
You just ruptured his ACL. Yeah, look, you injured
just
the
the
man. He can't
stand.
even play
Oh
anymore. That's what
my
you've done to all your
Lord.
figures. Wow.
I can't handle this.
Sonny dropped the ball.
Oh my
Look, the ball could come out of his hand. Watch.
Yeah. Now his whole hand's gonna come off. We see what you've
Look
done.
at that. His hand came off.
Look, see, you're taking his
Okay.
limbs off.
Oh my
This is exactly
Lord.
what your whole box of discarded limbs was.
I
You look
love-
like
It's supposed to do that.
This is great. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
All
right.
right.
I'm ready.
All
Tim's
right.
all red. Got Tim all red.
I'm laughing too hard. My cheeks hurt. Ladies and gentlemen, right or wrong, it's very simple. I'm going to give 5 statements in the comments section right now. Anybody that's here, for each one that I do, just type out right or wrong. We'll talk about it all at the end. All right. So number 1, gentlemen and chat, your number 1, you're excited about James Gunn's DCU.
Right.
Right.
Okay. Number 2, a superhero's movie soundtrack makes watching it more entertaining. Right.
Oh, that's 100% right.
Right.
Okay. Number 3, collect what you love.
Right.
Right.
Okay. Number 4, media, movies, shows, etc., are just as good introductions to the medium as the books themselves. Wrong. Okay. And number 5, Sonny, this is more for you. Action figures are just posable statues.
Wrong.
Wrong. They're killing fields.
All right, so let's go back to the first one. You're excited about James Gunn's DCU. Gary, you said right. Sonny, you said right. Go ahead and give your reasons.
Yeah. There's been a lot of talk about it. I mean, he showed in the past he can make good movies, make good superhero movies. I really liked what he did with the Suicide Squad, and it seems that there's a lot of new ideas coming forward, with the DC EU, and I think I think the DC could use it. It seems like there's a lot of great characters, a lot of great DC, so many amazing DC stories out there, but a lot of the movies just aren't getting as popular. They're not doing as well, so it's a nice refresh, nice refresh button. I think James Gunn, if there's somebody who could do it, I think he could push the DCEU in the right direction.
All right.
Well, the fact that he's going to do a Swamp Thing features got me on board.
There you go.
Somewhere down the line. I'm a little concerned with the costumes that I've seen. So I don't know if they'll be jazzed up with special effects and look pretty cool. But, I'm like, oh, man, I don't know. But we'll see. I do think it's quite an eclectic mix of characters he's bringing in, which I think is interesting. So
a lot of characters that have never seen screen time before.
Absolutely. So I think that's interesting. I do love his skewed humor, like in Suicide Squad. It was pretty fun. I just, one thing I liked about the DC movies, and I was a lot of times in the minority on this, is I liked, you can't match Marvel in tone for comedy and action and all that. That's what they do. That is their lane. They've got the comedy, they've got the action. But DC, I liked their movies that they were a little dark and a little more serious. and the tones were maybe a little more somber. I liked that, and I dug that. I thought there was room for both. So the only thing is I don't want it to be too lighthearted. That's all. I don't want it to be too lighthearted.
As far as me, I say right. I'm excited about James Gunn's DCU. Sonny, Gary, I agree with you guys 100%. I'm going to parrot that. I think it's a great fresh start. I think he does a wonderful job storytelling, and I think that he's going to treat the DCU with the type of empathy and compassion that it needs, and he's going to respect the core audience, which is us, the fans.
Is he behind bringing the DC Bullet back?
Yes, yes.
I love that. That's a nod to older fans. Now, Dan's not excited about any of this.
Not at all.
No, so he is a proponent. Or he is an opponent of this.
All right. So
he just wants it all to be musicals, like Joker 2.
Right. So number 2, a superheroes movie soundtrack makes watching it more entertaining. Dan says right. I don't see a number for you, Keith, so I don't know if you said right or wrong on that. But Gary, Sonny, you guys said right. Go ahead.
Yeah, movies. I think music really does help make a movie. Like it takes everything to make a movie, and music is something. And then, who doesn't love hearing a good song that you enjoy during a movie?
Yeah.
So,
just one cool moment was when Superman and Batman were fighting Doomsday in Batman Superman, and Wonder Woman appears. That theme appears.
First time you hear her theme, yeah.
That was pretty kick-ass when you heard that.
I jumped out of my seat when I heard that.
You heard that music, and then you saw her with the lasso and the fight with Doomsday. That's a great theme.
Before.
that is a great theme.
Yeah.
So, and that was a really cool moment in that movie, and so I love that. I love that a lot. And with movie themes, the DC characters have better themes than the Marvel characters.
I agree. They're more on it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
All you got to do is hear the 5 notes for Superman, and everybody knows what that is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Same thing with Batman theme by Danny Elfman.
Right. And now I would even say the Wonder Woman theme.
Yeah. All right. So number 3, let's go ahead and move up here. Collect what you love. Dan says right. That's the only one I see so far.
We were saying right too, yeah.
Yeah. Sonny, you said right, and Gary, you said right.
Yeah. Why would you not collect something you love? I can't see a reason why you wouldn't. And love what you collect what you love. I collect shit I don't love. So, like you and your Zeb Wells Spider-Man, right? I've got every issue of Spider-Man, even if it's ass, even if it smells like garbage. Every month I'm buying it because I got a complete run of it. So I collect stuff I don't love sometimes.
Tim, I remember when the Zeb Wells, you're like, I'm going to be done after like 6 more issues. And I'm going to be done after that storyline.
Yeah, I was finished after the Ms. Marvel debacle. I was out. I agree. Collect what you love, right? And if what you love is FOMO books, collect them. If what you love is slabbing your books, do that too. If what you love is the raw copies, do that. If what you love is trade paperbacks, do that. I think the whole point of this medium that we enjoy so much is the 4-color ink, the staples, the paper, the collections, and showcasing books and being proud of the slabs that we have and showing them. I think all of it's correct.
Preacher has me in single issues, trade paperbacks, deluxe hardcovers, and then this damn absolute edition that is just one of the prettiest books you'll ever see, So they got me 4 different ways on that.
Chris, I got to read what you type out before I put it up there.
Did he have something bad on there?
Always collect what you love. That's why I have a huge collection of used underwear from Japanese ladies. Wow. Oh my God. Bougie says right as well. Collect what you love. 100%. All right.
Chris, wait a minute. Chris, how do you know they're from ladies?
Oh my God. He went to Thailand. Ladies and gentlemen, moving on to number 4.
Chris said it doesn't matter.
No. Moving on to number 4. Media, movies, shows, etc., are just as good introductions to the medium as the books themselves.
No.
Now, Chris, you say wrong. Sonny, I don't remember what you said.
I said wrong, but for the most part, I say wrong. Every now and then, I
Okay.
think we find like X-Men the animated series is what got me into it, so
Yeah.
it worked out fine. But for a lot, I think it's wrong, especially now because there's so many movies and shows that people will think this is how it is.
Yeah.
That's it. Like for instance, seeing people with Harley Quinn and the Joker being like, "Look, but in the movie,
Yeah.
they seem okay, even though they didn't seem too okay." But people like read the comic books before you start saying they're the best comic couple.
Now, a lot of our chat says wrong. They side with you, Gary. So what's your reasoning for that?
Because even if the cinematic or the television production of something is fantastic, that's great. That's wonderful. That's fine. But deference must be paid to the source material.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that strongly, that you owe it to yourself to read the source material that these things were culled from, no matter how wonderful the project is. So it was created as a 4-color masterpiece. Read the 4-color masterpiece. Give that love. If you love a character, go into the history of that character and see the inception of that character. Give that creation love. So that's right. So I mean, it's okay to do that. I just think it's important. I'm trying to be a comic historian here. I just think it's important to go back and see the genesis of these things and to see where it sprang from. And as far as movies go, comics are storyboards.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah,
It's already storyboards. So much of they have influenced movie making incredibly, over the years. So yeah, go read the source material, and you'll find out, wow, that's pretty good. You can see where they took things from.
So here's my opinion.
You'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
If you like the movies, you'll love the comics.
Here's my opinion. I think I'm going to say right, and I'll tell you why. I think that the media like X-Men 97 or the old animated series Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, I'll use that as an example. I've got a 5-year-old niece that I watch down here, and the shows that I put on for her are the new Disney Plus version of Spider-Man and His Friends. And then I put on the old 84 Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. And that kid will sit there and watch the whole thing. She can barely read to save her life, but she knows who Spider-Man is. She now knows who Doctor Doom is. She knows who Dr. Octopus is. She knows Iceman. She knows Firestar, et cetera, et cetera. I think, Gary, I agree with you. And Chris, I agree with you as well. The source material is always best. But I think that media is a good window for people to peek into because there's such a wider world beyond that pane of glass.
Voyeur.
Yeah. Good voyeur.
Well, it looks, it's a great introduction. I'm just saying it's not, I'm just saying that more, go back and read the source material.
And that's what my son did with Invincible. He saw the cartoon first, and now he's got the entire series in compendiums because of the show. Chris here says, one of the first things I loved about comics was learning the history about them. It was the whole thing I loved and could also study.
So when I first started collecting comics, they were the 100-pagers. Right, source is always better, right?
Yeah.
They're the 100-pagers. And what those gave me, they gave me a new story, sometimes two, but the rest of it was reprints, culled from the wonderful backlog of stories that DC had been doing. So 74, so 34, 44, 50, so for like 30, 40 years that DC had already been doing work. And I got to read these Justice Society stories. I got to read stories of an obscure character named Johnny Peril. I got to read, a solo Starman or Hawkman or whatever. So I got the history of that, from reading the source, these new books that came out that had these reprints in it. So I got to read books from the 40s, and the 50s and the 60s. And that made me have this love for these characters to go back and collect all these issues. And so, that whetted my appetite to go back and to read all these stories from way before I was born.
100%. Yeah. Sonny, any final thoughts before we move on to number 5?
That's good. I'm on number 5.
Okay. All right. Number 5, action figures are just posable statues. Now, chat had a lot to say about this one. So let me go ahead and throw theirs up. Sonny, I know you said absolutely right. Is that correct?
No, I said they're to be played with and loved, enjoyed.
Dan says wrong.
Enjoyed.
Bougie says right. Gary, you said wrong. Is that correct?
Right. Action figures are not just posable statues, but you can choose to use them as you wish.
Right.
When I was younger, I played with them more, but now that I'm older, I use them as posable statues. But I don't ever want to take the toy out of toys. Toys are meant to be played with, and that's what they should be doing. But you can do whatever you wish with them. You can pose them and have them nice like I have them, or you can rip them limb from limb like Sonny does, and then wonder, who gets the transplant this week. So
now
it's that's his choice
Accidents
to
happen.
mangle his figures. I choose not to, but he has the right to decapitate and to mangle and to destroy his figures.
Sonny is a goddamn terror in the toy aisle.
I
My
swear,
Maria,
behave.
look at what I found. I found a gimmick.
Look, when you in the greater Chicago area, you go into any department store that has a toy section, there is a picture of Sonny, and it says, "Do not let this man in the toy aisle."
Oh my God.
Then I just shave the beard. Different man.
So out of the three of us here, raise your hand if at any time this year you sat in the corner and you played with the figures that you currently have. Come on, don't leave me hanging here.
Listen,
I look, but I didn't play.
Listen, when I do the Comic Character of the Week show, I bring a figure out every week. So I'm going to say that that's playing because I'm posing them and I'm doing it. I'm going to say that that's playing with them. But that's the extent of my playing. Ripping him asunder is not funny.
I'm sure they accidents happen. Some of them were wrestlers, and I was very young.
Bougie has a good point. He says they can be played with, like you said, Gary. But if we're talking about adult, then they can be statues also. Yep.
And that's what I use them as. They are, as you can see behind me, I have the action figures in front of my comics that are in shelves.
Well, let's give people a good look at that.
Yeah.
See?
So
right there.
It's a great look to have the action figures interspersed with the comics.
Yep.
So I love it.
All right. That is right or wrong, Sonny. There we go. Who's doing it next week?
Oh, yeah. So, we'll have Sal do it next week. Since he's on, we'll have him do it the next week.
Perfect.
And then
Sal, right or wrong, the left toe is the one you put the DOA tag on.
Unknown. We'll find out next week.
I'll ask him. He will know for sure. All right, guys. But before we get on to, we still have Wolverine, Law of the Jungle to review.
Law of the Jungle, baby. Best Wolverine story ever made.
Yeah.
But we won't get to reading it just yet because we have a random panel of the week. Which still has Wolverine.
Let's go ahead and take a look.
I like this panel.
Oh, yeah. There we go. He's asked, "Can I help?" And he says, "Are you a bear?"
No.
As he's just sitting there surrounded by bears.
Well, he doesn't have his shoes on either.
I just noticed that right now. Yeah, he's just got socks on. Yeah.
Not his best look.
No.
Yeah, no.
Not his best look. But he's probably in no condition to walk. So
just give his healing factor a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, give him a minute and then he'll be back. Yeah. So there was always that was funny, and I'm like, I don't think I've used that one yet. So no other episode more perfect to use it than today since we're reviewing Wolverine. So there we go. Wolverine asking, "Are you a bear?"
I've got a panel or two I should send you.
Yeah. More than maybe one time that amputee love, and I could do some editing so we could finally show it. Just the Codex symbol will be over it.
Did you get to see amputee love in person at Baltimore? Damien had it on the wall for a while.
I didn't even see it. Damn it!
Oh, certain things have to be covered up.
And I was over there too, and I didn't even look.
He didn't have it up every day, but yeah, he had amputee love out at one day, and amputee love. Listen. Amputee love is going up $100. It's so I'm like, God damn, I should have bought it before. It was $100 funny, but there was but Mike and he had 200 on it. Mike tells me no, it was $200 funny, but now it's got to be $300 funny. It is a sweet copy. It is a sweet copy.
Oh my God!
It is certainly a conversation piece because amputee love is talked about a lot. Sonny, did you ever get your copy of Vegetable Lover? I have not seen a second copy of
I
that yet.
searched. I did not
Oh,
find.
my Lord.
Yeah, on the spot, C2E2 2024. I searched for that. I searched for Amputee Love. I searched for
How did you feel
Housewives at
going?
Play.
How did you feel going from booth to booth asking for Vegetable Lover and Amputee Love?
Just walking around disappointed that they didn't have it.
Excuse me, but do you have a book about vegetables, like Veggie
Vegetable-
Tales? No.
I'm
Vegetable
just a man
Lover.
looking for vegetable lovers.
And then, just then, when they think you're a total freak, you say, "Well, what about Amputee Love?"
Oh my God, sir.
And by the way, can I also record this?
Oh my God. Yeah, this is for posterity.
Oh yeah,
ladies
and
gentlemen.
here's also my card for Codex. We're very nice,
Chris.
family friendly.
Chris, you are not allowed to comment anymore.
It would be half off. Look, Damien told me that if I sold it to an amputee, there's a steak dinner in it for me.
Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, Pam is in the house. Good to see you, Pam.
Bam.
Hey, Pam.
Bam. Bad taste abounds. Sorry.
Oh my God.
Well, speaking of bad taste,
Yeah,
that brings us to the F list.
there we
no.
go.
Joining the F list today is Cesspool.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sonny, you have outdone yourself yet again. So let me find a good picture.
There isn't any.
Yeah, exactly.
There are
There's
no good pictures.
Cesspool, huge, fat, and you see a bunch of pimples.
Oh my
There's jumping at
Lord.
Savage Dragon over a bar. Oh, there he is. Yeah.
That is
That's terrible. There's more, Gary. There's more.
no. Sonny.
There he is.
This is
Growing
why
up.
I don't collect Savage Dragon.
Oh my God. And one more.
There he's getting arrested. Look at him. He says, "Ouch! You can't stab a guy for Christ's sakes. I'll sue."
Yeah. Tell it to the judge. Puss.
Puss.
Oh God. That one right there's my favorite.
Oh man. Oh man.
So, would anyone like to take a guess as to the history of Cesspool?
Well, Pam, with the beautiful comment, I showed up just in time for Amputee Love, I see.
Perfect.
Pam, if you have not seen Amputee Love, you need to look it up and just see the cover of Amputee Love. And keep in mind, it was written by an amputee, so it is an instruction manual.
Did he write it like this?
I don't know exactly what he was missing.
That was
I just knew that he was
Be careful when you look it up, though.
missing something. The Amputee Love. A matter of fact, one of the gals that worked at Comic Logic, Katie, was there. I said, "Katie, I'm going to show you a comic cover, and you'll never be the same." And I showed her that, and she said, "You know what? You're right. I'll never be the same." So there you go. Just like with this character,
Gary,
Cesspool.
do you want to pop this one or should I?
Oh man, Billy. Okay, so this character he grew up. This character grew up out in the sticks, and his name is Billy Ooze. And and Billy Ooze was raised by his grandparents because his maternal parents had a problem with meth, and they weren't very responsible. So his grandparents took out a lot of their frustrations on Billy, and they would make him sit outside in the area where the outhouse was, and they had and he would have to sit in the waste byproducts. Ugh. And over time he got to be infected with sores and pus and he would live up to his name and ooze, but he became a carrier of it, and he would not be he wouldn't get sick. He would just be a carrier. He'd be like a typhoid Billy with this, and he would get everybody sick, and these pustules would form all over him, and he could pop them and do things like that too. And he got on his 18th birthday, he decided he'd had enough, and he went into the main house, and
I need to sanitize now.
He popped all his pustules at once and infected both of his grandparents, and they died immediately of the toxins that he put onto them. And then he went on to a life of unsanitary crime afterwards.
Golly. Clean the hands.
We felt so dirty just looking at that.
I got the hand sanitizer wipes right here, ladies.
It's not enough. You need a hazmat suit.
Oh, Lord.
All right, guys. Cesspool. Real name, Peter Davidson.
Close, Gary. You were close.
Billy Ooze.
Billy Ooze goes better, I think, than
So
Peter.
is this a dig at Peter David?
Does not say. But Peter Davidson, his first appearance was Savage Dragon #4, and in this issue that you see, Savage Dragon 72.
Are you sure that's not Savage Dragon #4?
Oh, my Lord.
Be a better way to put it, yeah. All right, so he was a part of the Body Function, a team, and he later joined the Vicious Circle. He's from Chicago, Illinois.
He didn't team up with Heavy Flow, did he?
No, he did not team up with Heavy Flow.
Keith says the Savage Dragon should be the character of the week at some point just for the out-of-context panels alone.
Yeah. Let me tell you something, Mr. Keith, the in-context panels are even worse.
I'm going to have to read a lot more.
He's trying to tell a story with this crap.
Hey, Liz, you made it just in time for this.
Cesspool.
Liz, we apologize in advance.
Oh, God. Go ahead, Sonny. Give us his real origin.
So the power, as you can see, Cesspool is literally covered in pimples, right? So his powers are superhuman strength, generation, and is from one of the most, from the not sickening picture when he's vomiting all over Savage Dragon. He's the generation and projection of acidic pus.
Ugh.
There we go. And in this is from Savage Dragon. Yeah, from Wiki.Savage Dragon. Yeah, in 1982, the superhero partner of, he was a superhero partner of Super Tough and Young Tough, embarked on their mission together, but a Naga bomb was detonated at a military base, and it affected Peter Davidson, leaving him badly burned, and radiation transformed him into the supervillain known as Cesspool. That's towards the end, but Cesspool first made his mark in Chicago. He was living underground, and he attacked both Barbaric and Ricochet, leading to their working with Savage Dragon. But later on, he formed a team called Body Function. He thought they were going to take on the Vicious Circle. Oh, that'd be the wrong picture there, Tim.
No, I put it up on purpose.
So
he goes.
Savage Dragon's base of operations was Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Sonny lives where?
Chicago.
I see the link now. Now I know why he's a Savage Dragon freak for all these freaks in Savage Dragon. Got it.
They fit right in. But so Cesspool in his Body Function, they try to take on the Vicious Circle, but they end up joining the Vicious Circle instead. And then the Vicious Circle they hire him to kill Savage Dragon, where he attacks Savage Dragon in a bar. But Savage Dragon is like, he's like, I don't really try to bother anybody. Everyone just comes at me and I defend myself. So Cesspool goes at him, and Savage Dragon takes a pole and puts it right through Cesspool, right through his mouth, through the back of his skull, and kills him. In issue 72 of Savage Dragon, and then he's dead, and he does not return.
Yep. Yeah, I'm sure. That's what I was wondering earlier, Dan. I'm sure that was a dig at Peter David. Yeah. Had to have been.
No, when you look at the name, yeah. But you don't think Cesspool. So do you guys think Cesspool is not that bad of a character? Or do you think it is definitely put down for Peter David?
Listen, there's a whole I resemble that remark. I hear you, baby. There's a whole F-list wing dedicated to Savage Dragon characters, and this idiot will fit right in with Heavy Flow and the
dung.
Oh
yeah, so there you go. It's part of the F-list wing in the Savage Dragon universe. Absolutely.
I agree.
Yeah. We do at the same time. Yeah, I think there's certain ones. Savage Dragon, you could always find characters. NFL Super Pro.
Liz will pass.
Young Blood.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I would love to see the Savage Dragon character that is not in the F list. That will be the anomaly.
You have to be a background character or something like that.
Wow. Savage Dragon himself, maybe?
He's the only one that gets out of the F list.
Yeah, that's about it. Maybe Super Patriot.
We may have to do our research and read a whole bunch of Savage Dragon now.
Oh my God! Please, what did we do to you to piss you off like that to make us do that? Jeez.
Bougie says Cesspool should be on the effing amazing list.
No, Bougie, no. You're usually so right on with things. No.
Oh God.
But Cesspool, yeah, he was only in a couple issues, but
Yeah,
there shouldn't be too much money if you're a huge Cesspool fan. Like I said, Savage Dragon #4, first appearance of Cesspool. Savage Dragon 72, The Death of Cesspool.
Kind of a crappy character. Now that was Dunn. Dunn was the crappy character.
Yes, crappiest of them all, and his family too. Who literally he had the poop daughter.
Well,
so.
Keith, the pitch meeting that led to the cartoon was Eric Larson pitching the cartoon to himself and then looking at the studio execs and going, "Huh?
Yeah. What was that? I forgot that he had it. I gotta watch that one day.
So there's this one character. She's a female, right? And she squirts blood out of her wherever we squirt their blood out of. And then there's this guy that's all pimples, and another guy that's a big sack of shit. Literally, it's money.
Perfect.
Why are we not animating this?
Kids will love it.
Yes, 100%.
I can't wait for the action figures.
Oh my God!
They did make some action figures too, right? Yeah.
If you had a heavy flow with squirt action, I'm out of here.
Someone make that, please.
Oh my!
With real blood.
Oh my Lord!
Squirts out real blood.
Oh my God!
Dung squirts out real poop.
Oh Lord!
Oh, the F list. So glad we have it every week.
It's terrible.
And I enjoy, looking into those F listers for all of you. Sometimes I got to be careful on the internet when I type in certain things, but
I imagine.
Cesspool was pretty.
Sonny, you have issues. You're a really psychotic fella. I can just tell.
You're getting to know me better.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God. Bougie says some people need to read more Savage Dragon.
Some people need less.
Oh my Lord! All right.
So now us people from Chicago, we're a bit wild. So. With that, some might even say it's a jungle here in Chicago.
Ooh.
So that brings us to our review. Today we are reviewing Wolverine, Law of the Jungle, which is Wolverine Volume 2, issues 181 through 186.
There you go. Gary, hold that up there while I give those credits, man.
Yeah. Tell some of the people who wrote on Uncle Gary's book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, got the book right here. Usually I write the credits down, but I felt it was only just that I read from the book itself. So Wolverine Law of the Jungle, what issues is that again, Sonny?
181 to 186.
There we go. It's written by Frank Thierry with pencils by Sean Chen and Terry Dodson. Inks by the late Tom Palmer with Rachel Dodson.
Yep.
Colors go to Avalon Studios' Edgar Taddeo. Letters by Richard Starking and Comic Crafts Sadia. And that's it. This
is the only time they've been reprinted until next year. Sonny says there'll be an Epic collection, and you can get these.
And you can get this unadulterated, unwritten on copy on eBay for about $5 to $10.
Yep, it is. It is.
Yep.
I said before, this is my favorite Wolverine story ever.
And this is Wolverine taking on the mob. So, with the first one, it's mostly Wolverine's in a bar and he hears these mobsters talking a bit about some things going on. A guy, who owes money. Basically, Wolverine takes them out and he saves this girl. But issues 182 to 185 is really where we get into the story of Law of the Jungle. And so what's going on in this story is that Wolverine is he's caught between a mob war between the family with Frito Pazzo. He has taken over the mob. His father, Sal, passed away. And really the man, Johnny Della Cava, who really should have been put in charge.
The underboss,
was told he did not get to be in charge because Sal on his deathbed said, let my son Frito take over. Frito, who is a big fan of the Godfather movies and watches too many mob movies, and writes them down. And oh, that's a good one. But so his father Sal says, hey, Johnny, when I pass, goes to my son Frito, show him the way. So that's why Johnny has to do it. And Frito he's spoiled. He's an all-around jerk. He's even like, my father put me in charge and this and that. But he's at war with the Roman. So, a feuding mob. So in between, Wolverine gets caught, and Wolverine is basically he says that to Frito, okay, that someone who owes him money, says a friend owes money. I'll help take care of the Roman for you if you take off the debt. And so
Pam has a question, Sonny, that needs to be answered.
His name is Frito. Freddo.
He's a corn chip.
Yeah, so Wolverine's caught in between here, and also the Roman does hire somebody, the sweeper? Yes, it was the sweeper to take out Wolverine. But the sweeper, although he seems pretty intimidating, he follows Wolverine. He isn't too smart when he goes into the cafe and he lights up a cigarette, and that's immediately Wolverine speaks up and says, everybody likes, I can't breathe. He says he can't breathe. And then eventually the two have quite an interesting face-off at the table, and everyone's leaving, and the sweeper pulls out a gun, but before he can do it, Wolverine kills him, and then Wolverine goes after the Roman. But remember, Wolverine, he's not really here to be nice to either mob, and also a certain character who hates mobsters called the Punisher is involved, because at one part when Wolverine is killing people, he throws somebody out the window, and the Punisher says, "Oh, I hate half days."
He walked away.
He knew what was going on.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Bougie asks Sonny, "Is this a patch book?"
You know what? No, he didn't say patch. He just said Wolverine.
Yeah. No. This isn't patch. This is Wolverine and the mob, not in Madripoor, here in the good old U.S. of A.
That is right. So I'm not going to give more of the story away. I say to check it out. Like I said, I feel the story was mainly 182 to 185, and that 181 was kind of an extra, almost like a.
You mean 186, the last issue?
So I thought the first one was kind of like leading you into it, but I didn't feel
the first one leads into it, because what happens there is a catalyst for what takes place. Okay. The last issue, 186, was a rematch of Wolverine and Punisher.
Yeah, just an all-out brawl. Yeah.
Wolverine's pissed off. Wolverine's pissed off because in the previous fight they had, Wolverine, Punisher rolled over Wolverine with a steamroller and left it on him. And in this book, he says, "I didn't appreciate that steamroller either, Frank."
That last one, so the story kind of concludes in 85, and then 86 is pretty much an aftermath, pretty much just an all-out brawl with Wolverine and the Punisher.
Yeah.
But then when the artwork changes, really changes with it.
The Dotsons did it,
I'm much of a fan of the change. But I said, for me, mostly my rating goes for 182 to 185. The others I feel kind of a little bit extra. I really do enjoy this story. I think it is cool to have Wolverine against the mob, and it did remind me of the Punisher. So I loved when I saw the Punisher in there. Loved that part. I thought, with the first, the beginning and the end, almost more just focus on the four. I think it's great, very entertaining. I like the artwork. I feel it goes perfect with the story. And for me, I've read a lot of Wolverine stories. I wouldn't say my favorite, but a really entertaining story. I do highly recommend it. I think it's fun, a bit different from the usual. I know Wolverine's solo, he does take on more sometimes street level villain, things like that. So it was cool to see him take on the mob. But I really enjoy it, and I do recommend it too. I'm glad that it was recommended. I, Sonny Kruger on the Codex Podcast with the Codex Station, give Wolverine Law of the Jungle 9.2 out of 10.
Ooh,
nice. So I think it's a terrific story, and I think you'll enjoy it if you check it out.
All right.
What about you guys? Who would like to go second?
You mind if I go next, since this is... All right.
Please do.
So, Law of the Jungle, I think this story does not set out to do anything more than what it paints on the front. This is Wolverine going against the mob, killing the mob, and it's not anything more than that. And it does a very good job staying in its lane. Sonny, I'm going to have to disagree with you on this. I think the first issue is incredibly important.
I do too.
Because that character, so Wolverine basically goes and brutalizes these mobsters, getting to this guy's daughter that has been kidnapped, and at the end of the book, he rescues her. And what's the line, Gary? Do you know Spider-Man? What?
Well, yeah, I'll read it.
Oh.
He rescues her.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I've got story time with Uncle Gary, but he rescues her.
Okay.
There's a great line after that.
Yeah, so Gary will get to that, but it sets up the whole reason, well, not the whole reason, but other reasons why he's doing what he's doing. The artwork by Sean Chen is chef's kiss. It's amazing. It's great.
It is amazing. Yep.
It's gritty, it's dirty. The ink work on there helped intensify that, and the colors are not these bright superhero colors. It really feels more grounded.
No costumes. No other mutants running around. You see Frank in his skull shirt.
Yeah.
That's it. You see claws and healing factor. That's it.
Yeah, nothing else. It's Wolverine on a Tuesday, and it's awesome. The whole story, like I said, it just stays in its lane, and it does not try to go anywhere past that. Like when Fredo, I'm going to call him Fredo from now on.
It's Fredo.
But
like from the Godfather.
But when he's running his mouth to Wolverine, and like he asks Wolverine to do this one thing for him, and Wolverine's like, I'll do this, that's it, no more after that. And he's like, okay. And then as Wolverine's in the middle of doing that, he's talking to him again on a different day, and he's telling Wolverine, he's like, I need you to go do this. And Wolverine's like, no, I'm not doing that. I told you I'd be here for this, and that's it. And Fredo's like, you don't understand. You work for me now. You leave when I say you leave, and I'm not telling you you can leave. And Wolverine's like, is that how this is going to work? Because you don't tell me shit. And
Wolverine tells him because he says that's not really bright because I want to kill you, and you really want to give me an excuse to?
Yeah, exactly. It's perfect in the way that it does it, and the characters are portrayed. Wolverine, I mean, is portrayed the way he needs to. The only thing that I didn't like about the whole run of the story was the last issue where Terry Dodson took over. I get what it is, but in my personal opinion, I think that you can just read 181 through 185 and call it square.
Right. It is super. It is superficial to the story. Yeah. It's really more of a rematch of the previous Castle Wolverine fight that is not in this issue.
Exactly.
One of the characters is mentioned in this in the preceding storyline, but that's it. But chronologically, that issue followed that storyline.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's a good one-shot story that shores up other things that had taken place in previous issues.
Right.
And they mention all of that while
it was a Roadrunner cartoon is what it was.
Exactly, yeah. But so with all that being said, writing gets a very solid 9 out of 10. Again, it doesn't do anything it doesn't intend or set out to do. Frank Thierry's writing is absolutely fantastic. He wrote a really good, really entertaining, incredibly violent Wolverine story, and this has turned into one of my favorite modern age Wolverine stories, and I loved rereading it again for tonight. Artwork by Sean Chen, masterpiece. It was wonderful. It was perfect. It fit incredibly well with the story, and I'm going to go back to my notes again. The inks by none other than Tom Palmer, the late Tom Palmer, were fantastic. It was a great compliment to Sean Chen's work. So that also gets a 9 out of 10 for a very solid, well-deserved, much recommended 9 out of 10.
Right.
Speaking of violence, before I get to Uncle Gary, I did love, speaking of violence, was good, especially the part when Johnny and them are shooting Wolverine. He's just getting shot in the face and like, nothing. You're done.
You done? He's like, you done? You done?
So, a lot of highlights. I think each issue did have its highlights. So
yes.
One more thing, Uncle Gary, I'll let you go now.
All right, so
you'll get excited.
Frank Thierry is a New York boy, Brooklyn boy, so he's writing what he knows, right? Thierry, it's Italian name, so he's Italian. Sal, This book's for you, baby. So, Italian name. So, Wolverine Thierry's writing what he knows. Now, y'all didn't mention this, but
we saved it so you could.
Okay, well, the 3 clowns at the beginning at the bar when he's talking to him and he's infiltrating them, did they resemble anyone to you?
Oh, wait a minute. Let me look in the book.
I think who they were.
Did they resemble anyone to you?
Oh, yes. Mo, Larry, and Curly.
Knock. So did you catch that, Sonny?
You know what? Wasn't thinking of Three Stooges. I wasn't, but maybe when I look at it again, yeah.
The lead clown especially had the Mo look to him, you know?
Yep. Mo, Larry, and Curly.
Yep. So see right there?
Yeah.
So you had Mo, Larry, and Curly, which I thought was hilarious, right? So Wolverine, these guys, they've kind of violated a code. This young punk is running, and you find out later, but I'm going to give you.
Yeah.
So this young punk's Sal died, and this young punk, Fredo, as Sonny says,
it's Fredo.
Fredo takes over, and is doing things you're not supposed to do. He kidnaps a little girl, and these guys are part of this process. So Wolverine has been hunting him down, and he gets there, and Wolverine sits down and has a conversation with these guys, and this is just, I love the writing. Wolverine,
right in the beginning, right?
Right. Wolverine is at his smart aleck best.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have it at home, follow along.
Yeah, follow along. So so he says so Wolverine's really telling the story about him coming after these guys. He's telling the story that these guys they were telling mob stories about badasses and this and that. And Wolverine, they first said, "What are you looking at?" And then he's, they have a banter back and forth. He goes, "Well, I got a story to tell you." So he's telling a story about basically tracking them down.
You're talking to me?
Yeah, and he goes, "Yeah, let me tell you, Nicky and Joey and Mad Dog, them mooks you were comparing, them mooks got off easy compared what happens to these 3 fellas that this guy's looking for." And he doesn't say that he's that guy. He goes, "See, the alpha of the crew, pretty sharp fella, actually manages to get his gat out before he loses his hand and his windpipe for his troubles. The other 2, they ain't so good. Maybe they had one too many because they're still sitting in their seats when they're looking at their own digestive systems sprawled out on the floor. Now, and the Einstein who decides to play hero squeezes off the Einstein behind the bar that squeezes off both barrels right before he does. Hey, the less said about him, the better." But you see where this little ditty's headed. And so the sharper the guy that he was referring to, Mo, goes, "Cute." And then Wolverine goes, he's sniffing. And he goes, "What the hell are you doing?" He goes, "Oh, God, I never get sick of that smell." And the guy, "Smell? What smell? What the blank are you talking about?" And Curly goes, "Gee, I don't smell nothing." Larry, "Shut up." And he says, "Sweeter than fresh rolled Havana gold." And he goes, and the Mo character, "What the hell are you talking about, dead man? What smell?" And Wolverine, can you see his little smile? Fear.
That was good.
Come on! How can you not read that? Say that is the greatest fucking thing ever. Fear. And then slash blood.
Oh, it's everywhere.
Goes downstairs. There's the little girl.
Yeah.
The little girl. And he carries her out. He's carrying the little sweetheart out. And he says, "It's okay to look now, honey." She says, "Mister, can I ask you a question?" He goes, "Sure, darling." He goes, Are you Spider-Man?" And he just looks at her and says, "No, darling. Spider-Man's a sissy." And there the guys all splayed out, dead.
Oh my
dead,
God.
messed up. Spider-Man's a sissy.
Oh my
Come
God.
on.
I did like that, yeah.
How great is that?
I
Come
love
on.
it.
And you just get more great mob stuff from there. And Wolverine, at one point, he marches into Fredo's joint, and everybody's got the guns right on him. And Wolverine's still talking shit. And the underboss, Johnny, who's kind of a guy listen, part of the reason I love this is I love mob movies. Love mob movies, right? So this is
Fredo loved him too.
Yeah, he did. He sure did.
A little too much.
This is speaking to me. So they've got guns in his face, and he's still talking trash. And Johnny's like, whoa, wait a minute. Don't you understand? There's something's off here. This guy's got 5 guns in his face, and he's like he's waiting in line for the movies. Something to that effect. That he's not, he's not really
intimidated
at all. So, great things like that. And he ends up doing some jobs for Fredo because there's a negotiation there. There's a reason Wolverine is he's willing to do some work for this guy, and it means wiping out a rival mobster.
Oh, yeah.
How Castle's involved. And so Wolverine goes to this one place that this other mob guy's got some of his people at.
What was his name? Was he was Caesar?
The Roman.
The Roman, that's right. Yeah.
Cleopatra, his cat.
Yes, cat was Cleopatra. But he goes in, and there's this great conversation of these, if you watch, I love The Sopranos, right?
Yeah.
There's this great conversation about Jason Giambi, a young guy saying, oh, he's going to be the greatest Yankee first baseman. And there's this great conversation about if you ever saw Lou Gehrig play, you wouldn't, this older guy, Lou Gehrig, an older fellow, this guy's uncle, like Uncle Junior in The Sopranos, says, I repeat, nobody who actually saw the man play, not this fancy, smancy sports center BS either, but actually saw him in the flesh, standing 20 feet away from you, would ever say that Gehrig wasn't the best first baseman they ever saw, period. And so at that point, Wolverine is involved and smashes up the joint, kills everybody, and he goes up to the old man. And the old man is, he's, I'm an old man, don't come any closer for Christ's sakes. Wolverine takes his drink, sips his coffee, and Wolverine says, he goes, 1939, the house that Ruth built. Today, I am the luckiest man on the face of the earth. And for those of you that know baseball and great moments, that was Lou Gehrig's speech when he was dying and he left the Yankees and he realized he had a fatal disease. And he had this wonderful speech saying how lucky he was and that he didn't have a bad break. So anyway, Logan is quoting this. Today, I am the luckiest man on the face of the earth. He goes, cripes, what a speech. Not a dry eye in the house. Hell, even I got a little choked up. He says, Lou Gehrig's the best first baseman that ever lived. Anybody who actually saw the man play would know that. So Logan is telling you
too. Yeah.
He saw the man play. And he was there for the luckiest man on the face of the earth speech. Come on, man. How great is that? How great is that? So, Tim, I don't know if you're as versed in baseball lore as I am. But
not that much. But
yeah, so Logan was telling you he saw Gehrig play and he was there the day of that speech.
Yeah.
So I think that is badass. I just love the way Logan took out the hitman they put out on him. He took him out in a great way. I just think Logan with the mob, and I'm not going to give it away, but the reason that he got involved in the whole kidnapping, you think there's a deeper personal connection than maybe there was. It was a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, nothing better to do.
One of the craziest guys I've ever met.
Yeah, one of the craziest guys I've ever met. So I absolutely love this. And I love the understanding that he and Johnny came to, the underboss. Mm-hmm. There's, that Johnny was a man of his word.
Yeah. Logan
was a man of his word.
Johnny was old school mobster.
Yes, he was old school mobster. Absolutely. Yeah. And the only reason he was sporting Fredo was because it was a deathbed. It was a deathbed request from his Don that was like a brother to him.
Thanks a lot, Sal.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Sal. So he had to put up with this punk kid when Johnny knew the crew should have been his. So the understanding Wolverine came to with Johnny, I thought was really good, really reminiscent, and just if you like gangster movies, you gotta love this. So again, I know Wolverine's a member of the X-Men. I know Wolverine has done some great stuff with the X-Men. He's wearing his costume, superhero. But for me, this Wolverine, Law of the Jungle, is my very favorite Wolverine story of all time, with the writing, with the art. So me saying that, how in the hell could it have any numerical review that wasn't a sunny 10 out of 10, baby?
There we go.
Law of the Jungle. Wolverine and the Mob. Read this stuff. It is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
If you can't find this thing, like Tim said, this is affordable, man. This is easy. It didn't cost Tim that much at all to get it. But if you want the Epic collection coming out next year,
March, yep.
that's a great buy too. But I'm telling you, my highest recommendation, badass. And I'm not even giving you all the great one-liners. Wolverine was at his smart ass best in this.
Oh, yeah.
But there's the whole thing. Yeah, great dialogue. The whole thing, yeah. So everyone here at the Codex podcast, we highly recommend Wolverine Law of the Jungle. Tim gives it 9 out of 10. I give it 9.2 out of 10. Uncle Gary gives it the 10 out of 10. So everyone make sure to check out Wolverine Law of the Jungle. Wolverine taking on the Mob. And next week, Sal will be here, and we will be reading not a Wolverine solo story, but an X-Men story, and it will be X-Men Days of Future Past.
I'm excited for that one.
That is good.
Yes, so another classic. And everyone, that can wrap up today. We got through Wolverine Law of the Jungle. We got to talk about the Cesspool joining the F list. We'll have plenty more. I'm sure we'll have more Savage Dragon members joining the F list. We had Variant Insanity. Went through a lot of news, and yeah. So
the Savage Dragon wing of the F list is bursting at the seams.
Perfectly put. And with that, we could all go out and eat some food as we think about Cesspool.
Cesspool, yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. Yeah.
Great on our minds as we eat. So, thank you for joining us, everybody. Take care. I'll let these guys wrap it up and tell us some things that we have that we want to give to the people.
Well, just like Cesspool, we have all the socials, and we like nothing better than to give them to you.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching tonight. Everybody in chat and those of you watching at home, we appreciate you. The whole reason why we do this is none other than for you yourself. Right. We enjoy your company, and we're very appreciative of the fact that you allow us into your homes or your bathrooms, Chris, while the show is on.
You don't want to be there.
At the Codex Station, ladies and gentlemen, please hit the like, share, subscribe, and or follow so you don't miss content like this all the time, every time. Your favorite social media platforms, and where we're live streaming right here on YouTube, over on Twitch right now at the Codex Station, ladies and gentlemen. And also, don't forget, if you want to look too cool for school, head over to thecodexstation.com for all your Codex needs. Get some merch, meet the team, and so much more. Once again, thecodexstation.com, ladies and gentlemen. And let's not forget, Uncle Gary, we got to give some love to the ever-popular comic character of the day on Facebook. Why don't you go ahead and give people a rundown of what that is?
All right. Started by our good buddy, Archduke Kevy, who started this Facebook page, Comic Character of the Day. And it is the reason that we are all acquainted with one another. It's because we met through that page. I'll post the cover of the day. And Dan will post a random panel of the day, a question of the day. Usually Archduke Kevy puts the character of the day, and I try to correspond them. Sometimes I go off the reservation for laughs. And so
blackout the other day.
Yeah, right. That blackout sucked. So I blackout a little bit better. So sometimes I do that, and I get a kick out of that. And then Tim is always there. He's always contributing, always making sure that we are giving you the quality you deserve on that page. So please come check out Comic Character Today. Archduke Kevy, love you, brother.
There you go. Chris says, good stuff. Liz says, great episode. Thank you, guys. Pam says, awesome, and can't wait for Days of Future Past. Bougie says, a good one. Mr. Keith says, good night, y'all. And Chris, of course, has to have the last word with
gaping holes.
All right, ladies.
Everyone appreciate it.
Yeah, very much so. We are going to get out of here. We love you, and we will see you this Thursday, tomorrow, for Comic Character of the Week, and it's going to be none other than
Jean Grey, the Phoenix.
There we go. You've got Sal, Gary, and Dan. They're going to lead you all the way through all the history you need to know of Jean Grey, the Phoenix. All right, we're going to get out of here, ladies and gentlemen. We will see you next time. Oh, thank God, Sonny, the stream is over now. I can profess my undying love to you and your hairy ankles. And
Thank you. Would you like to see my ankles?
Oh, hang on a second. Wait a minute. I forgot to end it. Love you. Bye.